Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 17. Keith, today we're going to be discussing the Sabrent Rocket Nano 1TB USB 3.2 drive.
Hey Bruce, you know, the nano in the name kind of implies that it's small enough to fit in your pocket.
Smithies, there's a rocket in my pocket.
You don't have to tell me, sir.
Yes, and this rocket is even smaller than the one that Mr. Burns has in his pocket.
Yeah, I guess that's a good thing. It's proof positive that good things do indeed come in small packages.
Spot on, Keith. This thing is as small as a Bic lighter and yet has a terabyte of storage. What they've done to get the size down so small is they've included an NVMe drive. That's also what makes this thing so fast. The other thing is they're combining it with USB 3.2 to make this the ultimate in portable fast storage.
Yeah. So when you put it in your pocket, you're saying you really have a rocket in your pocket, aren't you?
You're really getting some mileage out of that one, aren't you?
You know, I am. But, you know, as always, actual mileage will vary.
So you ready to take a look at the unboxing and take a look at some of the performance specs?
Oh yes, I think we are ready to unbox and to test.
Alright, so the Rocket Nano is a USB 3.2 device, which as of the recording of this video is the latest standard you can get, and the fastest available in a USB flavor. That will soon change as USB 4 devices start to come out, but that is not the case as of our recording today. So, why did I get this? Well, this device is extremely small. When we get it opened up, you'll see it's not a whole lot larger than a Bic lighter. So one of the things that I do is I travel for my daughter's volleyball. And while I'm traveling, I take photos and video of the matches. That is a lot of data to have with me. And so I wanted something that I could store external to the laptop and yet still was fast enough to edit right off of that device. That's where this Rocket Nano 1TB drive comes into play. Now my laptop is only USB 3.1, so that's going to limit me to 5 gigabit transfer rates. But on a USB 3.2, which my desktop system has, I'll be able to get the full 10 gigabits of bandwidth available on this particular device. So let's go ahead and get this unpackaged. We're going to take a look at the performance after we do so on both my laptop, which is USB 3.1, and my desktop, which is USB 3.2, and we'll talk about those results as well. All right, let's go ahead and get this open. This does come in a nice hard plastic or metal case. I can't tell which yet because it's in the cellophane, so I really can't tell the difference right now through the feel. But let's go ahead and open this up and get this out of the cellophane, and then we can take a look at the device itself and the case that it shipped in. If nothing else, this tin is a nice way to protect it during shipping. Inside of this drive, and we talked about a little bit in our discussion ahead of time, inside of this drive is an NVMe drive, which, you know, to kind of do a refresher, NVMe is a newer solid-state technology connection methodology. So the memory chips are very much similar to a standard SSD or solid-state drive. What's different is this is NVMe or PCI connection versus the SATA connection, which SATA is great if you have an existing computer and you want to swap out the spinning disk for a non-spinning or solid-state drive, and it has a SATA connection. That is a perfect example of how to get the best speed out of that particular connection. Now, newer systems will have NVMe capabilities right on the motherboard. Older systems do not. This is one of the first implementations of NVMe in an external enclosure, so you can access that high-speed connection standard through a USB high-speed connection as well. So let's go ahead and open this up. It's using this label basically as a hinge. And so you can see we've got two different kind of compartments here. We've got the USB cables, and they give you two different ones. So it's going to give you a USB-C to USB-C, so hopefully you can, here, let me just get this positioned a little bit better. There you go. So that is USB-C to USB-C. As well, they ship you a USB-C to traditional USB. So even though this is designed to be connected to a high-speed USB connection like 3.1 or 3.2, you can use it on an older standard non-USB-C connection on your laptop, and it's still going to be very, very fast. You're just going to get throttled by the USB port versus the drive itself. So I'm going to close this back up, and you can see here that this is 1 terabyte. Let me hold this a little closer to the camera. This is 1 terabyte of data on the go. And so you can see from a standpoint of size form factor, it's very, very small. Let's get you another something to compare with here. So just to give you an idea of the size of this particular device, it actually is smaller than the key fob for my car. So that gives you an idea here of just how small this particular device is, right? So you literally could put this rocket in your pocket, as we've already made that joke, and we're going to get as much mileage out of that as we possibly can. But this is how small this drive is. This is 1 terabyte of data that you're carrying around with you. And not only is it a terabyte of data, but this data can be accessed extremely fast. So what does 10 gigabit give you for access speeds? Well, to put it in perspective, that 10 gigabits of data access is going to give you about 1,000 megabytes a second of transfer rate. To give you an idea how that compares, a good solid state drive with a SATA interface installed directly in your computer is going to give you somewhere in that 500 to 550 megabytes per second transfer, and this is nearly double that. So this is an incredibly powerful little drive that you can carry around. And again, if you're a creator or if you have to access large files, this is going to give you the ability to take a lot of data on the run and then edit right off of this particular device and then upload it very, very fast to another computer if you need to, or back it up very, very quickly. So it's a very, very powerful tool. And from an expense-wise perspective, this was about $149 for a terabyte. So from a value perspective, I think it's a great value. Let's go ahead and get this over to the computers that we're going to test on and run it through its paces, and I'll share with you those results. Now that we've gone through some of the unboxing, let's talk some numbers. First, let's take a look at the difference between USB 3.1 and a USB 3 7200 RPM spinning disk. So for a note here, the laptop I connected this to only has USB 3.1, not 3.2. So you're not going to see the maximum results that this particular drive can produce. You can see clearly the spinning disk is left behind by the performance of the Rocket Nano, even connected to a USB 3.1 versus the 3.2 it's capable of connecting to. To see how much impact USB 3.1 versus 3.2 would have, I connected the Sabrent to my desktop PC with an available 3.2 Type-C connection. And here is the comparison results. Now, one of the things to consider is obviously the data has to be coming from someplace. The system that has the 3.2 USB has a very fast NVMe drive that is internal to the system. So we really shouldn't have any impact from the source of that data. So I'm not really sure why that write speed isn't much higher than it is, but certainly this is respectable performance, and it's going to give you all you need to edit, say, 1080p or possibly even 4K videos from this particular device. So Keith, now that we've gone through some of the performance numbers, what are your thoughts?
You know, all I have to say is, wow. I mean, just wow. I mean, I'm around a variety of, different kinds of technology all the time, at work and at home. But sometimes you just kind of have to stop and go, wow. Because to see something with that much storage capacity be that small and that fast, that's pretty remarkable stuff.
I totally agree. Even 5 years ago, there's no way that anything like this is even possible. If you look at the combination of speed and size here, it's pretty spectacular. And they actually make a 2 terabyte version that is just $100 more and is the exact same size.
Wow, this is crazy.
This is crazy, this is crazy, this is crazy.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And we've actually come to the end of our video.
Seriously?
Yep, check the script. Just 2 more lines for you and 1 for me.
Well, I'll be. You are correct, sir. Well, with that said, I will ask everyone to like this video if you found the content useful, or if you're just proud of me for having put up with Bruce for yet another episode.
And I will remind everyone to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, in spite of Keith continuing to be on it.
And lastly, I will remind everybody to click on that bell so that you get reminded next time there's new content put up by us, so that you can bear witness to our witty banter back and forth. So, until next time, you will see us on the next episode of Dads Talk Tech.